They about to look at the shit that I'm on, why don't we get in topic? Crew looking like Pentatonics, locked in, recording in tropics. In the East Bay 3, big Bronzy B, way good, he working on optics. Thought biz while smoking exotics, we lit, never thought about it. Just live by the look at the shit that I'm on, why don't we get in topics? Sitting way back, all black, I'm talking, feeling like Shaq, I weigh my options. In the East Bay 3, big Bronzy B, way good, he working on optics. Thought biz while smoking exotics, it's RCR the Presents. It's all.
What is up? What is up? What is up? It's been a while. RCR Presents, MSD Sports, and we back at it. My name is Sam, also known as YPK, and we got Mikey over here, and we got Camden over here. And let's get it, Mikey, introduce yourself, Mikey, introduce yourself.
It was good, y'all. It's your boy, Michael John. Got out of work, had a nice day, and came to do one of my favorite things in the world, and that's talk sports with the boys.
Yes, sir. Camden, what's up?
What's going on? You already know what it is. It's your boy, Camden Lee, a.k.a. Mr. Club Paradise. I'm with the greatest trio ever assembled, MSD Sports. We back with another one, episode 20. Can you guys believe it? 20. Guys, we started a couple months ago. It's been almost about 3 months. We've been kicking, we've been pushing, and we're at episode 20. I can't wait for this episode tonight. I know it's been a minute. I know we've been keeping y'all at bay for a little bit. You know how life goes. People are moving, people are traveling, people are doing their thing. GMYBK, he was doing some things, you know what I'm saying? He was doing his thing, flying and by, you know what I'm saying? But the whole crew is back. And we're here tonight. So, YBK.
Yes, sir.
Can you let the crew know? Can you let the people know what we're doing tonight? What's going down?
Yes, sir. Episode 20. You right, David. 2020. Today in the agenda, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to first talk about the MLB news, baby. Yankees, no beer policy has been removed. We're going to talk about that. A lot more MLB news, NBA news. Warriors be cooking. They've been balling. Luka been balling. Lakers are looking good. And we're going to move on to the NFL. Oh, we got some new, well, not new, but welcome back player Matthew Stafford to the Rams. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to wrap it up with a nice boxing event coming up. And yes, let's start it off MLB. So the New York Yankees announced that the long rule since the 70s, guys. Once you join the Yankees, you gonna have to be a clean on your facial. But now they got rid of that rule, and now they permitted well-groomed beards moving forward. Announced by Hal Steinbrenner. And I want to talk about it, guys. How do you guys feel about this new rule change here? The no beer policy rule to the well-groomed beard policy.
Well, guys, as a brother who has been growing facial hair for a while, I was Patch O'Houlihan back in the day as a young lad, as a young teen, you know what I mean? And now your boy finally got a full face, full thing. I mean, it's an amazing situation. I think, I don't know about for you guys. I don't know for some of you who've worked in different corporate jobs or things like that where you have to shave. For us brothers over there, we sometimes get ingrown hair. So, if I was trying to play for the Yankees a couple years ago, that would not be an option because I just can't sustain a wonderful, a nice fresh face, non-bumps, no razor bumps, and shave every day. It's just not going to happen. I think it's a change of a new guard. I mean, to be honest, I think it's telling the people, listen, we're having a couple more international players. We're having a couple more brothers in the building. We're not gonna allow this stigma of you must have, a perfectly clean shaven face or a bald head like back in the army or things like that. We're gonna allow you to have a little bit more expression. Has to be groomed. It's got to be cleaned up like me and Mikey like to do. We like to keep our little joints nice and trim. Got to be clean. But I'm enjoying this. I know Michael John, my boy's growing a little something over there. I know what I'm saying. So I'm just wondering how you feel.
I promise it was a coincidence.
I know usually you clean shaven, so I'm just like, listen, is my man adopting the joint now too? What's popping?
Well, I had 6 days off, and coming from someone like I work in luxury hospitality, that's where I've been for 6 years now. Mm-hmm. You gotta stay clean. Like the shade, you could have a beard or facial hair, but it's gotta be clean. So I feel like that's fine for me to change the rules because it's 2025 and I understand that the we need to be in tune with the way people want to look and the sensitivity. I don't know if y'all, Verdugo used to play in Boston, and I don't know if y'all seen his before, like his face shot in Boston, then to the face shot in the Yankees. It's hilarious. The big fluffy red beard to face shaved. So I see it. That's single-handedly why they changed the rule. I think they needed to let that boy get his beard back. No, but in all seriousness, it is nice. Like I feel like Sam, you might have a different perspective, and I'd love for you to share if so, because like the tradition of like upholding just having a tradition, I understand like the importance of it, right? Like long-standing tradition is important, but I think facial hair is one of those things that like as long as it's well kept and well groomed is different. Like a big crazy messy beard, and they ain't gonna allow that. But a well-groomed beard, why not?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of sides to this, and like we're in 2025 where like expression, as you said, David, is very important, and how you bring yourself to whatever organization or team is very important. But as coming from a Yankee fan from like all my life, like I've been always grown up to when you join the Yankees, you're clean, your beard's clean, you're coming up, you're showing up with pinstripes, you're coming up with tradition, that pride, like from the 70s, and I feel like I kind of disagree with this rule, and I'm like, of course, like there's different sides, but for me personally, I don't really like it. Like even coming from like Jeter days, guys. Jeter always was clean. There was never a situation where Jeter even said anything about it, or he kept that rule, he kept that tradition, and he was successful. And it goes for Aaron Judge too. And I heard that he won't grow a beard too. No, like, no matter, he's gonna be clean. Like I feel like he has a similar perspective on that too, on keeping that tradition, as we just spoke. But I did hear on Hal Steinbrenner say like one thing he said about this beard policy is he didn't want a player to not like come to the Yankees, not come to the Yankees just because of that policy.
And
He
for a
didn't want to
fact,
lose a person.
there's been multiple players who have said, "Listen, I can't grow a beard over in New York. I'm not going." Like it has been documented throughout the years, and I think having free agents coming and saying, "Yeah, I'd love to play with you guys. I think the organization is historical. I think you guys mean business. I love just what you mean." But it's like I have had a beard most of my life. Like it grows very thick. It comes in every other day. Like I can keep it nice and manicured, but like for me to be clean shaven, I'm gonna look like Bumpyville, USA. You know what I mean? And if I'm doing 162 games, I gotta look pretty, baby. I'm just letting you know. But YBK, I definitely understand what you're saying in terms of the history and the kind of just the prestige of it all. Mikey, I have a question for you. Do you feel as though these old traditions, kind of like these unwritten rules of baseball, kind of hold the fabric and the integrity of the game? Or do you feel like, hey, there are a few things that we can kind of let go based on discrimination or other endeavors based on that?
Yeah, I mean that's like I feel like where the biggest argument comes in for it. Like, it's a privilege to play baseball. I feel like, right? It's a privilege to play like a game and work for a private organization. It's like a private company, so they get to choose the rules. But I feel like the point you made about like I'm not gonna if I can't like be myself, I'm not gonna go play there. It ties into that, like letting people be themselves. So, and I think it's important to let people be themselves. I feel like you're gonna play better if you're comfortable in the skin and uniform you in. But in the same sense, I understand like why like telling everyone to shave. It's like you all wear the same uniform and you all have the same conduct that you must abide by, and it creates a sense of like kinship and like we're all under. It's like military school kind of, right? Like military school rules. So I kind of get it because it is militaristic. And what's going to give you the best success? What is the most successful baseball organization, right? Who has the most championships? But it's a different era. Eras change and things change. So that's kind of like where, I see the scales balancing themselves. They ain't going to let no crazy beards go, but you can have a little, a little something.
Listen, if you want to play for the Yankees, now is the time. You're going to be able to grow something, grow a little peach fuzz. You might as well get your ball on over there. They doing something.
I remember I saw a video where when this rule took place, John Boy Media had like an interview. They were in some like camp in spring training, in one of the spring training camps in one teams, and it was surprisingly a 50-50 kind of thing where he's like, do you like the rule or not kind of question, and all the MLB players were kind of like 50-50 response. So it was like interesting. Like it's like legit what all of us said, like where like some players were like, yeah, I want to express myself, this is great, and then other people are like, no, like if you want to play for the Yankees, it's different, like it's a different level of tradition there, and like other people have like that respect on that rule too. So it was really cool to see like those even MLB level professional athletes have that perspective as well.
Well, even YBK, I'll pose the same question to you. Do you
Yeah.
feel as though these traditions like kind of hold the integrity of the game, or do you feel as though it's like, listen, like we can let some of them go, and then the rest of them we still need to hold on to?
I feel
Because
like
sorry, yeah.
this policy has been so like kind of like a concrete thing. I feel like it shouldn't even have been touched. This beer policy was so well known. Once you join the Yankees, everybody knows that, So I feel like that's a huge change to the organization. And as a Yankee fan, I'm kind of surprised on that because Hal really doesn't like to make change almost. Like we
Yeah.
even see like in off-season markets too, like he's not as aggressive as his father was, right? As the boss was.
Yeah.
And I was surprised to see this perspective change on Hal. I was like, wow, all right. Like, I guess he's trying to change, or the World Series embarrassment kind of really kind of shocked him and made him realize, all right, I got to make something change, So that's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Paradigm shifts happen, and
Yeah.
this is definitely a remarkable one for
100%.
sure. Well, another thing that's shifting, which is interesting, let's see how many people will get their eyes on it, because there's news that the ESPN and the MLB has ended their broadcast partnership. So they ain't gonna be playing MLB on ESPN no more.
Like the weekend
which is-
games or like the big games type.
yeah, because I
Damn.
feel like if you think about it, like there's a few different networks, right? Like when I watch Red Sox play over here, it's Nesson, right?
Right.
Like it's like the local cable type has the partnership deal. It's like the subsidized stations that have it. Because per season, the deal with ESPN and MLB was like 550 million per season, right?
Wow.
Compared to like averages of 729 million from Fox and 470 million dollars from Turner. 550 million dollars from ESPN, I feel like is a lot of money that they're no longer in agreement with to carry games. So I don't know. I feel like it's interesting the direction that baseball is going, because I know that there's a lot of these streaming networks that have made it viable for sports. You see the Premier League on Paramount Plus. You see Peacock or Tubi just put the Super Bowl up for free, but Peacock be getting the sports games. You see HBO Max be getting the NBA games. So I feel like it's interesting. Like, I don't know if this is like a good thing, like spells well for baseball. Like, I mean, I guess it will just have to be on the networks. Like the fandom that watches it might watch it more, but for the general public and the casual fans, it kind of seems like a loss for baseball to me.
I can definitely see that for sure. I mean, there's two things that I think about, right? Is one, the first thing you spoke about, Mikey, was the local networks and the local money and the local viewership. And if, say hypothetically, Nesson is usually where I get to see all of my games, but then I have to go to ESPN one day because they're playing the Yankees, but I don't have ESPN because I don't have cable. I'm kind of in a rock between a hard place. Then even more, say it's like I'm a new player and I want to be on a big market, and playing on ESPN is great. So I think it's one of those things where I feel like I wouldn't go to ESPN to watch games. I will go to ESPN to watch highlights, and I'd rather go to Nesson to do that. And I wonder if the viewership, based on how much money ESPN was giving MLB and how much people were actually watching on ESPN, if that had play a huge thing. Because if you're not getting the viewership and you're chucking up all this money, it's like, well, why am I paying you $500 million when I'm only getting the same viewership as Fox and they're paying you 70? What YBK? How are we feeling?
So I'm looking at right here. As of today, ESPN does 30 regular season MLB games a year, and in that 30 games, you're saying, well, 25 of those are Sunday night baseball, and they do own the rights of the home run derby and the wild card around playoff games, and that's it. That's their coverage. But like that's like what a handful of like less than 40 broadcast MLB games for $550 million. And now I'm seeing the streaming, they're paying Apple TV for their games. Some games is only 85 a year. So I'm thinking here, as what you said, Mikey, on like on the streaming platforms, and like how boxing was on Netflix the other day with like the big, what was the Tyson fight was on Netflix, like one of the biggest like hype fights. Like they're seeing that and they're like, what's the point of wasting money on regular cable and where we can like take advantage in streaming now, where everyone's on Netflix, everyone's on Amazon Plus or Hulu or all the streaming platforms. So I feel like this is a great realization for the MLB, and they can save a lot more money now, and they can do a lot more to benefit the sport itself and for
Good
further.
point. I will say, when you think of like what's the biggest event in MLB every year, I feel like World Series is one, and like home run derby's got to be in the next one or two spots after the World Series, right? Definitely. Like, let's be real. You know what I mean?
So hype.
So I feel like that's interesting because I wonder what it's gonna do. Because in my mind, I agree with you. The MLB itself, it will be good for putting more money into like the game, or maybe they can. For ESPN, in a way, it's like, well, we can save this money and use it somewhere else. But for the MLB, maybe they should have given them half the price if it was a money thing. Maybe they should have renegotiated, because they obviously, if to end your partnership means like we're not coming to terms.
35 years, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
so
crazy.
It's like, for me, I'm confused because I feel like if you're a game that feels like it's fallen behind to sports that have increased in popularity in the world, like basketball, volleyball, sports that are worldwide popular, like hockey or soccer. If you're baseball, don't you want to continue to like try to appease the casual fan? I don't know. That's my one thing I'm trying to wrap my head around about it.
You do and you don't, because you got to remember, right? ESPN, the Major League Baseball really built ESPN in its earlier days. Definitely. Like we in terms of ESPN as itself, and us watching highlights and us being able to watch these different highlights from our out of market games, because most Sundays we were able to watch Fox, we were able to watch CBS or I'm not sure what other local stations are, but you're able to watch a couple games on a Sunday, so you wasn't too worried about it. Thursday, you're also able to watch on regular channel network, local network. Monday night, you're also be able to do it local. ESPN was the only place where it's like, oh, we saw, Manny Ramirez hit a home run. We also saw, someone, Barry Bonds hit a home run in the same 30 minutes. And I think it's something where I think Major League Baseball is kind of like, guys, like, y'all been eating off of us for so long. Like, we've been helping you to grow. Now ESPN is its own conglomerate, might be building its own streaming service, doing all this other stuff.
ESPN Plus.
Yeah, exactly. ESPN Plus. Yeah. I don't understand why they didn't move the games to ESPN Plus instead of just saying on ESPN. It's like, hey, we're just gonna move it. All of these 40 games, we're gonna move it to ESPN Plus. We'll take instead of taking 500, let's take 2. We'll take 2 only because we've it's like a longevity clause. We've been in the game with you for mad long. We know that what I'm saying, it's the house that the MLB built.
Yeah.
So let's just do that. But I think you got the MLB who's dying. And wants to squeeze out every single dollar without beating out the casual fan that goes to the games. And then you got ESPN who's like, yo, like, I could sell y'all to anybody. Like, I don't need your 40 games. Like, I could put WNBA and maybe get the same amount of viewership type stuff. You know what I mean? And not have to give you this much money to put it on. So it's money, greed, man. People be greedy. These corporations be getting it up. They be greedy, bro. It's like, fam, like, 500 compared to 85. Come on, guys. Come on. Yeah, that's just stupidity.
Wow. We'll see what they're gonna get those games on somewhere, and we'll see. Apple TV's got their little deal. Roku TV got their little deal. Let's see.
Amazon Prime got some too.
There's something. There's something. Something moving and grooving. I'll tell you that. So
that's true.
I mean, guys. To be honest, I've been glued to ESPN recently. I'm talking every single minute. Do you want to know why? Do you guys want to know why?
Tell him.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. There was monster news. First off, we're gonna start with a couple of things that we never want to talk about. Injuries. First off, the big boy, Victor Wembanyama, is out for the season. I will repeat it again. Victor Wembanyama is out for the season. And the reason why? Blood clots in his arm. Guys, this is the face of the league right here. What's happening? Did anybody expect this? A knee injury, an ankle, something? I expected that, but blood clots. He says he has a deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder, and it's forcing him off the roster for the rest of the season. We had someone who had this previous condition earlier in the NBA a couple years ago, about maybe 5-10 years ago, Chris Bosh.
Oh, yeah, Bosh.
He had the same thing, but he was able to come back and able to play. Guys, how do we feel? Did this hit you out of left field? Because I was shocked when it crossed my ticker. Yes. I was baffled. Talk to me.
I was devastated because I remember when we talked about the Spurs in the last pod, and I was very optimistic on the Spurs team and in their playoff race right now. And I feel like, they have potential to go with De'Aaron Fox there now, and I feel like they're gonna mesh really well. But now Victor being out, he's like the most vital piece of the puzzle right now, guys, right, of the Spurs, and even Pop being out for the season too. I just felt like the Spurs now is I don't think they have any chance this season. But what I feel like I want to hear what Mikey wants to say too, because he did kind of say in the next few years these San Antonio Spurs are gonna look pretty good. But yeah, Mikey, I want to hear your opinion too on this.
I think I still stand by that I feel like the trade for De'Aaron Fox was a next year type of thing, not a this year type of thing. I mean, just like Bosh, similar body, right? Long, lanky, tall. The thing is, he be shooting a lot too. So I'm like, how the hell does a 21-year-old get a deep vein thrombosis, blood clot, right? I was curious, so I just Googled, right, what causes this injury or what caused it, and it was saying just having the anatomy of a tall, lanky player, you're more likely to experience this. Shooting an overhead motion, repetitive overhead motion, can also lead to it.
What?
It could be family history. It could be a prior injury. So among all of those things, I mean, I'm not that surprised that he's done for the year, because let him rest. No need to compromise the future. Sad, because that's a good player to kind of develop into face of the league, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So y'all seen the guy who paid the ticket? He bought a ticket for minus 3,000 or something, minus 2,500. He said, you know what? I just need to win something, so whatever. And he put 10 racks on Victor Wembanyama to win defensive player.
And that's literally what I was just about to say. And he, he's gonna miss the minimum in terms of games.
He's out. Yeah.
And he would have been a lock.
He was a lock for sure. 4 blocks a game, but crazy, right? Did y'all see though I thought this was the other interesting news about how this news broke? Did you see the storyline? Someone is going to get in trouble for this one. I'm sure they're already regretting doing this. Someone on their Reddit account posts an hour or 30 minutes before the article comes out, Victor Wembanyama is going to be out for the year. I have a friend who works as a doctor on the Spurs staff, and he told me that Victor Wembanyama has an injury and he's out for the year. Bruh, it's not that hard to figure out who you are. He tried to delete his whole Reddit. He had years of history. If you know Reddit, there's a lot of comments and interactions you make, and it all is cached on your profile. So that boy deleted his whole stuff after he realized, why did I do this? Why did you do it, bro? We all gonna find out 15 minutes later.
Jeez.
He got the call to the streets, and unlike your boy, you just calling the crew on the Batmobile. He wanted to broadcast. He thought he was the man. He thought he was about to get some cutty tonight. He was like, listen, let me drop this news and let everybody know that I got the big time scoop. When he should have just got on the group chat, told his homies, and he still would have got some cutty. He should just called the chick that he saw last week. Hey, honey, I got some great news. You want to try? Bad news. You want to come over and Netflix and chill? I got something I got to tell you. Hot stove.
Yeah, when those odds was crazy on Mobley and JJ, yo, put 500 on each because those odds is about to go real. It's about to get closer to even odds. Like, go crazy.
Okay.
That's what you do? You go to Reddit? Damn.
Dude, ridiculous. And, you know, guys, I mean, I don't know if there's something going on with these big fellas. They're amazing. They dominate. They're unbelievable. But a guy that we know and love, that we trusted the process of for so long, and that trust, I feel like, has finally been broken. Joel Embiid is out for the season with an ongoing issue with his left knee. He has been battling this for the last 2 years now. He played through last year. He had some discomfort last year. Played through so that he could win the MVP because everybody was talking mess. Should have got a surgery, maybe taken some time, got shut down. Also should have took some time this year. But guys, they got Paul George, signed him to a Supermax, got Tyrese Maxey, got rid of Harden, and signed Joel. And it looks like the Philadelphia 76ers, it's over. I think the process, we trusted it for so long. Guys, how do we feel about Joel Embiid? This was not surprising to me. I'm just surprised everybody was shocked that they thought maybe he was even going to come back. Or the Sixers were going to do anything.
Yeah, it's too bad. I like Embiid. Like, I like him as, like, a person. I feel like he's got a good personality, but his whole career has been he's missed more games than he's played in his basketball career after being ruled out now. Damn. I feel like we had the stat earlier this year, like he played 800 games NBA career and he missed like 400. It was like very close, right? Mm-hmm. We had this on one of our episodes. So I'm disappointed. Sorry. I mean, I drafted him hella early in fantasy basketball, so sad tears. You know, crying face emoji. Sorry.
RBK, how do we feel? How do we feel about Joel Embiid?
I feel like devastated because now it's like it just even looks worse in the Sixers now, right? Like we see like Paul George get signed in Sixers. We're like, oh, okay, like on paper they're looking pretty good. Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, Joel, and you know when he's healthy. Now we're looking at the starting lineup with Tyrese, Kelly Oubre, George, and Yabusele. It's like, all right, now I mean, like what you said, David, they're done this season. I feel like they're just playing dead minutes now. Tyrese keep balling, you know, keep scoring, you know, keep doing your thing. Paul George, like, get your mojo going. Like, what happened to you this season? You know what I mean?
Well, he had to quit the podcast because he was talking too much and not playing enough. And so, you know what I mean? He said, listen, you know, I don't know if it was the 76ers that said something to him or what, but I don't know. That Philadelphia cold doesn't do well with the brothers with injuries. You know what I mean? He was living in LA, big chilling, and now he's in Philly. It's a lot chillier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're done. I mean, they're cooked. And like I've been saying this for a while. Like I wasn't that mad that he didn't make All-Star Tyrese Maxey because like, I mean, they lost to the Knicks and like he put up 30 points. You look at the stat line, you're like, wow, he played 43 minutes. Like, wow, that's a lot of minutes. He put up 30. Wow, that's pretty good, Tyrese Maxey. But he shot 12 of 32 and like 0 for 10 from 3.
Dude.
And I'm like, that's what they do with him. Like they let him just let that thing go loose. Like just to shoot the ball away. Like, yeah, it's 30 points, but it's like you're shooting 40%. You know what I mean? It's not if it was efficiency involved with it, like if you're averaging 27 and you're efficient, it's the same thing with LaMelo Ball. If you were efficient or your team was winning, I would be more. We'll look at you like the Shea Gilgeous-Alexanders of it. But I feel like the Sixers are cooked. Goodbye. Like
Goodbye.
Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Better luck next year.
I feel bad. I feel bad for Joel. I mean, I've always liked him, like you said, Mikey. Great personality. You know, when he's on the court, he's dominant. But he's just, availability is the great playability. You gotta be available. Okay, you can't play if you're not available. And I think that's one thing with Joel. He's just not available. One person, guys. We're gonna stick on the NBA train, and I'm gonna speed up a little bit. One guy that is extremely available, extremely dependable. When I say is doing what I think we all thought, Jimmy Butler. Guys, can we talk about Jimmy real quick? I know that he was taking a lot of the NBA segment for a lot of this podcast, but Jimmy Butler, since coming to the Golden State Warriors are 7-1. Okay, we saw my boy Steph Curry drop 56 the other night. Sometimes he ain't even playing the fourth quarter because the Golden State is up by 30 and it's just playing catch up. Is Jimmy Butler one of the most underrated players in the league today? Because he's available, he plays hard. Whenever he goes to a team, he changes the culture. Talk to me. Is it just me?
I mean, obviously something happened, right? It's like sometimes it's morale. You get that little WD-40 to get the gears turning. You get a little confidence, and it's 7-1. The record says it all. And he didn't even have to really do much that game that Steph went crazy. That's what says it all. When you unlock the game for someone else, or you play with someone that's great, sometimes it's like, yeah, I feel like enough said. 7-1.
Do we feel as though? Sorry. Do we feel as though YBK, the Golden State Warriors, are gonna beat out the play-in? Are they making an actual seed in the playoffs?
I mean, if they're playing like right now, they are. I feel like the acquisition of when they got Jimmy, like numbers wise, like when he first came, he dropped 25, but like even like that Orlando game when he only scored 5 points, I feel like just the presence of Jimmy Butler to that clubhouse, well, not clubhouse, that team. I'm talking about baseball, but if you join Jimmy in that team, I guess it just gives you that synergy. I mean, look at Steph right now; he's feeling himself. He really, I feel like he really likes Jimmy a lot. When he got to the Warriors, and I feel like they've just been like on fire. They've been on point. And I feel like Jimmy doesn't really have to do much. But if he does, he can. If he needs to, he could step up for sure. So this is great for the Warriors, and like what Mikey said, 7-1.
7-1.
Pretty good.
I'm really excited, and I feel like Golden State is gonna do something. One team though that they ain't even gonna touch, because I got a hot take that I gotta tell my boy GM Sam in a few seconds. My Los Angeles Lakers. Luka and his Laker career. It was slow to start, but we slowly but surely getting the Luka that we traded for. My boy has been going crazy. He played his old team the other night. And you know what my boy did? Le Triple. Learning from Le Triple. I'm just saying, guys, and I might have to say this. I know this might be a little crazy. I know this might be a little wild. But I think my Lakers are going to the Western Conference Finals. I'm going to say it here. I'm going to say it right here, right now. I think with this trade, I'm seeing Luka. I'm seeing the determination in his eyes. I'm seeing his type of swagger hanging out with the king. I feel it. YBK, how do we feel? You living in LA? You down from crypto? Do you feel the spice?
I'm gonna tell you this right now too. You made a good hot take right there. I'm taking another hot take. I'm gonna take a take on top of that take.
Taking two takes in the money.
2025. YBK saying 2025. Los Angeles Lakers about to be the NBA champions this year. They taking the ring this year. They looking good in my opinion. Luka needed time to warm up. Ever since he got traded, he didn't play since Christmas. So his first game back was only 24 minutes. But when you see a 7 games what, six games? 6 games he played with the Lakers so far. The minutes are going up day by day, guys. 24, 33, 31, 35, 36. It's going up, you know. We're seeing the Luka magic. People are saying this is called the Luka Brontic, everybody. The Luka Brontic is here, everybody. And I feel like this is similar to the Warriors, where when Jimmy went to the Warriors, the kind of team presence changed, and his presence really brought up the Curry to kind of ball. Same for Braun. Like the old heads are balling. They're like kind of, it's like a resurgence, guys. And I feel like they feeling it because of that new player they got, that little prize they got. You know. So Mikey, how do you feel about this?
I mean, I can't go that far. I would say they've definitely improved their chances in the West. I just don't think that I 100% can't put them over Oklahoma City. Like Oklahoma City in a 7-game series will beat the Lakers. I would bet the house on that for sure right now. But let's see what they go down the stretch, because I mean, it depends on honestly, like they have been winning a lot, but I wonder like tonight they beat the Clippers. Ooh,
Yeah, they beat
won
the Clippers.
Luka's first game, Battle of LA. Okay, you know what? I mean, they have some decent wins. Like some wins are against trash teams like Trailblazers, Jazz, Mavericks,
Luka still
Timberwolves.
scored 31 today.
But they did beat the Nuggets. I think the most important
game
win
was
that you've had
crazy.
since Luka's been around is over the Nuggets.
That was a
But
pivotal
it's also
game.
like, when that team that always beats you in the playoffs, like, so you circle it on your calendar, like, I can't let them beat me.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like it has that sort of vibes on it. Because to me, I'll say the Nuggets have surged to second place. So as much as the Lakers have surged, like up to what, fourth or fifth, whatever they're
fourth,
at.
I think.
I feel like Oklahoma City and Denver, like, get through the West, and then we can talk about like whether or not they could hang with the Celtics, the Cavaliers, the Knicks, whoever might come out the East. You know what I mean? Pacers, like, yeah, like I mean, if they can get through, or the Warriors, bro. My hot take would be I actually think the Warriors are going to the Western Conference Finals. You know,
Crazy.
Wow.
if I was giving you a hot
Crazy.
take, that would be my hot take.
You crazy.
Because they got like the experience and people who know how to play in the playoffs. Like the Lakers have went to the playoffs and like will win the first round against an inexperienced team and get swept by the experienced team. So let's just see. I don't know. That's just 2 years in a row. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So let's see. I don't know. I don't have as much confidence as you guys have. I'm not saying it's impossible though. I'm definitely not saying it's impossible. I mean, if you look at the betting odds, they have the Lakers at the fifth best, tied for fourth best odds for the championship.
Fourth best. Damn.
Oklahoma City, Boston, Cleveland, Denver, and the Lakers are tied. And then Golden State, and then the Knicks are tied. So I feel like let's see, I wouldn't jump the gun, but Luka's my boy. So I mean, like, facts that Luka has been playing well, and if he can get his field goal percentage up, his efficiency hasn't been great, but sometimes like you just got to get shots up in the new system. You feel?
Yeah.
So
it's true.
Talking about the East, because y'all talking about the West, who's coming out the West. Tonight the Celtics and Cavaliers played. Right, they've played a few times this year. Celtics have kind of put the foot down, kind of spanked that, said, look, come here. Daddy said, come here. But tonight, right, it was a different story because the Celtics stormed out to a really big lead tonight, and then the Cavaliers kind of got back into the game and ended up winning. So, well, how do y'all feel? Cavaliers are the number one team in the NBA right now. Are the Cavaliers coming out the East? I give the Cavaliers more of a chance than the Lakers to win the championship this year. Because if you watch the Cavaliers play, they look like a good basketball team, a really good basketball team.
This is the thing that I have said all season with the Cavs. I see them being the number one seed. I do not see them doing well in the playoffs. For some reason, I feel like we were talking about this in previous episodes. The Celtics, even the Knicks, kind of just getting their footing. They're trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to play this? Like, what lineup is going to work in this situation? What players are going to work against these players in this situation? The Celtics have beat the Cavs multiple times this year, and I just feel like the Cavs are at this place where it's like we are circling when we play the Celtics, and we have to step up their game. But I think in a 7-game series, listen, the Celtics were up 25-3. Okay, 25-3. And I wouldn't be surprised if after that they said, you know what? These boys can't handle this. I'm going to go take a coffee break. Regardless of this game, whether I win, lose, or draw, these boys can't play me if I'm actually playing. If I got a pedal to the metal in 4 quarters, these boys can't touch me. Like, this is the thing that I feel about Cleveland. The fact that you have a situation where you're down 25-3 in the first quarter, it's typical Cleveland. That's why I can't trust them, at least in the playoffs. YBK, how do we feel about Cleveland? Do we think the Cavs are somebody? Come on.
No, I feel like I kind of have to like go back to like playoff kind of like history, right? Like Cavaliers made it to the conference semifinals last year, and that's it. They never made it to the conference finals ever since LeBron was there, right? I can see the Boston Celtics definitely coming out of the East, definitely because of the. I really go by experience. Like, if you've been there, done that, you really have that advantage over a team that's never been there. Like, I feel like if the Cavs ever even go to a conference finals, they might crumble because they've never been there. If they versus a team that's been there, like. I can even like say for even like going back to the West a little bit, like OKC too, like. They've only went to this conference semis and they only got eliminated by the Mavs, and they never been to any playoffs ever since 2020, 2019. So I can say from the East, Cavaliers great team, but playoffs is a different beast, guys. You know what I mean? That's why we say playoff Braun. Like that's why we say
Playoff Jimmy.
Donovan Mitchell though is him. I feel like I wouldn't put it past Donovan Mitchell to be the number one like player on like a good playoff team because he finished with 41 tonight. Tatum and Brown kind of went crazy too. Tatum and Brown put up over 80, but I will say this: like keeping in mind that the Celtics were down 2 starters because Porzingis and Holiday both didn't play. So I feel like if you don't win as the Cavaliers, it's like, come on, like, you know what I mean? This like you gots to win it. But they're I think low key what we don't know about Cleveland is that yes, they're the number 1 offensive team, but they're like top 5 sneakily in defensive efficiency too. Because when you saw in the second half, I watched a lot of this game. I was at work, but I watched as much as I could. And like they had Mobley running the 5 and like had Garland and
Spider
Donovan Mitchell running the guards, and then you'll see like Max Strus or that other what's his name, Wade, the other white boy who be shooting threes. They're not like small like 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". I feel like they got like them 6'8" boys, right? Who really could get their arms up and get up there. Their defense might be the underrated point of the team. So yeah, Celtics couldn't get like the supporting cast wasn't hot, and I feel like David, you said that, or we might have briefly said it earlier, or something about like Pritchard, 6th man of the year, couldn't get it going in the second half. D. White had hit like 4 threes in the first half and couldn't hit a single a three for the rest of the second half. Hauser had a crappy game, so it's like that sometimes, you know. Tatum and Brown can't carry you to every win, and it's like like. Boo-hoo the Celtics, but maybe if you had Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, the game has a different outcome.
That's what I'm saying. How often do your 2 favorite stars or your 2 best players put up 80 points and you lose? Like, okay, it makes sense. Like, your 2-star players are out. Like, and you're playing a full Cleveland Cavalier team. Like,
yeah.
And you're losing a huge defensive like liability right there with Rue, especially at the point guard, mad defensive. Porzingis with the blocks, like you're losing so much defense, and the output was, I feel like it was there, but with those 2, I feel like it would have made a huge difference into this game.
Yeah. Sam, I'm going to segue right into this because I know you're about to be happy for this section right here. I know you.
Let's get it.
Tatum popped off tonight, and I think he deserves to still be in this, top 5, and right now, actually the top 3 spot for the MVP ladder. the 2025 MVP ladder.
Oh.
But there's been a little bit of movement. I don't know if you care to inform us, YBK. What's going on?
Mr. Jokic, Joker. He was number 2 the other time we spoke, everybody. But now he is number 1 in the Kia MVP ladder. Still going triple-double. 29 points per game, 12.6 rebound, 10.4 assists, everybody. And Shea goes down to number 2 from number 1. Still balling. 32, 5, 6. Damn. Still balling. But triple-double, guys. Triple-double. You can't beat that.
Shay's losing this one. Shay, I love you. I love you. I was on the team. I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm looking at it, but bro, in the second half, you'd have to pump these numbers to like 33, 7 and 7, or 6 and 7. You know what I mean? Or 7 and 8. Cause bro, you can't compete with a 29-12 and solid 10.4, bro. Make it make sense, bro. You can't like.
He's out of this world.
I'm not happy.
Out of the world, man.
I'm not happy. I mean, I'm happy for Joker. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just not happy because I'm like, these are 2K numbers, guys. This is 2K my career numbers, and he's been doing it for 5 years. Make it make sense.
Crazy.
Yeah, 29 points is already like as a center is like okay, but the 12 and 10 or 13 and 10 like for rebound and assists, that's like I mean I don't know what to say. He had 19 assists the other day. He dropped 19 as a big
assists, bro.
He just like dropped a light. He only had 18 points that game, and he didn't get a triple double because he only had 9 rebounds, but 19 assists. He only went on to have 2 games in a row since the 2 games after that. 32 points, 14 rebounds, 10 assists.
Jeez.
23 points tonight, 17 rebounds, 15 assists. It's like I just can't like tack on that he's almost he's averaging 1.8 steals. Bad.
Wow,
like,
almost 2 steals a game.
Yeah. He's not like a blocker like Wembenyama, like 4 blocks. Like he doesn't. He's a little bit under 1 block a game, but you don't need to when you command the paint and at least can deter a little bit, right? This is crazy. I don't know.
19 assists, fam. That's 2K numbers, bro. Come on, Bro, you a center. Shea ain't even getting.
He's diamond.
Shea ain't even getting 19 assists, and he's the point guard. He bring the ball up the whole time. Amazing, it's not fair, bro. I'm not mad, but I'm tight because I'm like, bro, it's not even fair. It's not even fair.
Not only that, shooting 44% from the 3-point line is
ungodly.
58% for the year.
Just feels like he's just throwing it, but he just goes in. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
You know what's a fun fact? In the NBA, since 2019, guys. So that was what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 years. All international MVPs.
Well, you had Giannis and
Jokic, Embiid, Jokic. So it's like, well, Embiid is but he's still, kind of considered international. But it's crazy. It's kind of impressive on how we talked about the international stars kind of, emerging in the NBA. And it's like, Jokic might win another one here, and then that's the 7th year in a row, So it's like, it keeps on going.
I think Jokic, though, is the biggest wonder of them all because, like, he's not the most athletic in the sense of, like, it was domination for Giannis, just, like, pure athletic domination. And Embiid's was more a little bit similar to Jokic, but not as much finesse. It was, like, the scoring and, like, the roughneck, like, I'm a big guy, and he asserted himself that year when he was healthy. But this Jokic is just I don't know.
He's a walking triple-double. That's literally he wakes out of bed and it's a triple-double. It does not look like he is trying to do this at all. That's the crazy part about it. Like Giannis and Embiid, they tried to get the MVP. This mug is getting them handed to him because he is just that good.
So good.
Yeah.
Effortlessly.
It's crazy.
So smooth.
It's freaking crazy.
A less exciting ladder that we have going on, but it's also an important ladder, is the rookie ladder.
Oh, rookie of the year? Okay.
Yeah, I feel like there hasn't been so much movement. There's been a lot of, like, injuries, I feel like, to the rookies this year, y'all, right?
Yeah.
But Stephon Castle's still sitting up there at 1. I don't think any one of us would object to that. I feel like he kind of has been, in my opinion, the most well-rounded rookie throughout the year. I think we'll see some time for him to shine a little bit even more with a little less Victor Wembanyama on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
You might see him be a little bit more featured in some packages here. But I will say shout out to Jalen Wells, who moved up. He moved up from that third spot to the second spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and Zach Edey's still sitting up there, but not showing me enough. If there's a big guy that I like a lot this year, Alex Sarr, but he's injured now too, in and out with the injuries. So, any thoughts on rookie ladder? Because I mean,
I think Edey is the biggest disappointment to me. I thought, coming out of college, I thought, he was gonna being, one of the big men on the team, getting a lot of minutes. I thought he was gonna be able to do a lot more. Castle has been great coming out the league, just been doing well, and shout out to Jalen Wells. I do think Jalen is coming into his own as a scorer. He's getting some more rebounds. I think his assists need to go up if he's really going to be an elite player, I think, of this caliber. But yeah, I mean, Edey with 9.1 points, that's where I'm just kind of like, I don't see it. I thought you were gonna average about 16, 14, 5, and maybe 8, and you're averaging 7.7, but it's like the points are just.
I feel like it's kind of hard for him though, because there's like JJJ and you got Ja,
Yeah,
it's
big
kind
guys.
of hard, no? Like it's for him to kind of make presence.
I feel like it's easier for him to score though. I feel like it'd be easy. I'm like, you got Ja, who's high flyer. So I think the putback should be easier. You get a lot of tension on JJ, so it's like you should be able to clean up when he's getting doubled and be able to come through and kind of do his little thing. I knew he had a little bit of a jumper coming out of college, but I haven't seen that translate to the league like that.
I noticed that Marvin Bagley stole some minutes from him a little bit through some of these games. Where I'm like, I didn't expect that to happen. Like, I can understand that like JJ is the starting center and maybe Aldama will get a little bit more minutes, but I feel like, I mean, I kind of saw
coming out of college. I thought Edey was going to be a little bit more. I thought in a big system, I thought he was going to be like, oh wow, like or at least the rebounds were going to be not 7.7. I thought maybe the rebounds would be 12 and the points are 9.9. And we're saying, oh, wow, like he's a scrappy defensive player. Like, that's cool. But
in his defense, I will say he's only getting like 20 minutes a game.
It's
It's like if 20 minutes, if you usually play a starter gets 30 to 32, let's just be conservative, say 30, right? Like if he gets 10 more minutes a game, he'll be closer. The numbers are like 13 points and like 11 rebounds, right? 12 rebounds.
I mean, he's averaging 1.2 blocks. I didn't even notice. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, so
good.
It's like he could be better. Like Jalen Wells gets more minutes than he does, but I guess because the guard position, it's just that position's a little deep. But I don't know. You're right. Like when you come out at a older age, like he's already 22.
Yep.
Which is funny to say already. But that boy's a big boy carrying around 300 pounds at 7'4". So just make sure he's staying in shape. Like maybe they're being careful to make sure that he's like staying in shape. So
Crazy to have two Grizzlies in the rookie ladder, top 3. Kind of good for the organization's future, in my opinion.
They've been a good team this year.
Good
as well,
scouting
in the third seed right there. Maybe we'll see rematch Grizzlies and Lakers. Maybe that'd be nice.
That'd be
Remember
cool.
A couple years back, that was a good matchup.
Yep.
Lakers took that, but
Maybe showed them a lesson. It was fun.
All right, talk to me. I want to hear. I feel like we talked a lot about NBA. What else? Anything else that's going on in sports?
Guys.
Yes.
We're in the off season, but anytime I get a chance, talk about my favorite. She's my number one. The NFL, baby. So we got the Rams, the Los Angeles Rams, and Matthew Stafford have agreed to restructure a contract that keeps the quarterback in Los Angeles. I know usually GM Sam usually breaks a lot of the news in terms of how much money and all this other stuff. That's usually his forte. However, when we're talking about sacrifice, when we're talking about, legacy, when we're talking about running it back, I had to jump in just for a hot second because this adjusted contract gives us a little bit of leeway when it comes to the Rams. I mean, there's a possible discussions of him going to Vegas. Nobody wanted that. Who's he gonna throw to? Brock Bowers. There's a possibility of going to New York. The Giants, neighbors, but it's cold. You know what I mean? My man's an older brother. He's in his 30s, his mid-30s, get closer to 40. He liked the warm weather. He liked the LA. I just gotta say, guys, how are we feeling? One, we're talking a little NFL. And two, Matthew Stafford is staying in LA. I'm gonna ask Mikey first because I already know why he became really happy because he wanted the boy to get on. But I'm gonna ask Mikey how we feel about Matthew Stafford staying in LA.
I'll give a thumbs up because like I don't know who else you're gonna get. That's the answer. Like I wouldn't prefer Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Lock. Like who you want? Kirk Cousins? Who you want? Who you want? Like so I'll say thumbs up. I'll give thumbs up for this one because I feel like it's like it works out for them. They had a decent season. They overperformed, I feel like, from what we expected. But now you're going to have an expectation to maybe be a wild card team again. So let's see. Let's perform.
I feel like the Rams have a lot more work to do in the offseason. I feel like Stafford coming off, he's going to be 38 next year. Well, that's next February. He just turned 37 this year, so I guess he'll be 37. He's coming off his last year, so I feel like the only opportunity the Rams have is now. So they should get going in the offseason, get busy. You know, get Stafford some weapons, get him going, link him up with Puka, and they went to the wild card. I mean, like he's right. They went to the playoffs, so
They might be in trouble though because if y'all look at the numbers about Cooper Kupp's contract, they're gonna take a lot of dead money if they trade him because they want to get the money. They're paying him so much.
yeah, his contract's
He's
crazy.
not producing like he was a couple years ago prior to injuries, etc. When he was a Triple Crown winner. So I feel like it might not be the best situation for like him to win immediately, but I don't think a team that's like an immediate winner is in search for. There was no Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady, right? That's what Aaron Rodgers thought he was doing with the Jets. He thought he was about to be Tom Brady with the Buccaneers.
YBK, I have a question.
Yo.
The man was gonna get about 55 million.
Yeah.
Right. He was gonna get 55. With this restructure, as the resident GM and the man who crunches the numbers, not only for the outside joints but also for the MSD Sports crew.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Where do you think the annual? Where you think they're gonna like kind of resolute to? What you know what I mean?
So you're saying if it was 55, right?
55. So when they say restructuring, what do you come? What you know what I'm saying? We come to an agreement. What you thinking?
I'm giving him like maybe because he won a Super Bowl. If I was GM, right, GM of the Rams, he won a Super Bowl with us. He's been solid. Since 2023 coming in, 2022 coming in. I'm gonna give him in between like 35, 40.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, because I feel like I don't want to give him like that low 30 because I kind of want to give him that respect. And then you're a veteran, you showed us. So yeah, 35, 40 million a
Michael
year.
John, what you thinking? What you think? You think he's getting 40, 30, 30, 35?
That's a lot of money to me, like for Stafford's age. But I guess, like you said, because he brought them a chip, maybe it's like that. But I don't know. Brady brought New England 6 of them things, and it was because he kept taking less, right? And kept restructuring and taking less. So it's hard for me to be like, oh, well, like, pay the man, but, like, he should get the money he could. But do you really want to win, or you just want to get one last contract out of it, like one last ride out of it, And there was all that talk from his wife about, like, oh, is this it? Are we hanging it up? And, like, I don't know. I hope he performs well because I like Stafford, and I feel like he's been a durable, like a great passer. He's almost at 60,000 career yards.
That's amazing.
So, wow, he's going to be in an elite company of like 10 quarterbacks to hit that. So,
sheesh.
What do you think? Because did you see the little storyline about how they were saying? I forget who was it? Ian Rappaport got in a fight with someone. Some dude pulled up on him like, yo, don't you be talking that crazy or we gonna have a problem. Because the other dude reported that like Brady was trying to suit Stafford to come to the Raiders by taking him on a skiing trip. And Ian Rappaport was like, no, they both have houses in a similar mountain. Like, they got money, they live there. Like, it wasn't no funny business. But he's like, don't you disrespect me. I'm like,
Wow.
damn, like
Wait, who
Brady.
said this?
It was Ian Rappaport and another reporter who was basically saying that like he got into like they got into like a big fight. Jordan Schultz is the guy's name.
Okay, okay.
But basically he confronted him in like a Starbucks in front of people like, don't you ever, we're gonna have a problem. I'm gonna we gonna throw them things. Like
Who
we're gonna
was
have
who
a
was who was throwing hands? Was Ian the one pulled up on him, or Schultz was the one that pulled
no,
up on Ian?
Schultz pulled up on
Oh, I
Ian
was about to say,
Rappaport
I was like,
because he was
Ian
pissed.
Rappaport about to pull up. I was like, go get the blicky, bro. I was
No, but
confused.
he was saying like because Schultz was trying to say that Brady was courting Stafford to go to the
Raiders.
Raiders, which I don't blame him because now the other options left. Like I do agree, Stafford's a better option than like who now if you're the Raiders and the Giants, like out of these four, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Sam Darnold, maybe Kirk Cousins because he might get released as well too. Out of those five, we'll say, who are you going for? Like if you're the Raiders or the Giants, because there's not a lot of pickings here. I can
I was
see why
gonna
they wanted
say,
Stafford.
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, bruh, are you
I'd
gonna
get
hate?
Russ,
I was
maybe.
gonna say, I was literally about to say the same, John. I'm like, are you gonna hate me if I say Russell Wilson? I'm just like, are you really? I'm like, he did so much with so little last year that I'm kind of like, bro, like I'd take Russ. I really would. Like he did not look bad. And if George Pickens could run a route or two without getting in his feelings, you know what I mean? A couple of games would be a different outcome. So yeah, I'd probably take Wilson. It'd probably go Wilson, Darnold, Fields, Rogers. And then if Cousins is around, then I might take Wilson, Darnold, Fields, Cousins. But Fields makes bad decisions, so that's why it's like it's a toss up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. But I'll probably take Russell. YBK, what are you thinking?
So if I were the Raiders, I'm taking Sam Darnold.
That's not bad either.
I'm taking that. I'm taking him. Like, all right, you showed. The Vikings. You can do it. I'll take you. If I was the Giants, honestly, I'll get Rodgers. He's already used to the New York. He's already used to MetLife. The same home stadium is nothing gonna color gonna change, but that's it. And you have a star emerging wide receiver neighbors coming in, and Devontae might follow you too, right? So it's gonna be Devontae wide receiver 2, neighbors 1, and then we'll see. 'Cause I feel like that'll be a cool fit. But yeah, I think Raiders might get Sam Darnold in my opinion.
Be kind of cool.
Yeah,
that'd
I
be
think
cool.
that the Giants need to get whatever the best remaining quarterback is if they can't get a quarterback in the draft. Because if Cam Ward or Shador Sanders is available for them, I'll probably take one of them two, right? First. But the Titans are drafting 1 and the Browns are drafting 2.
Yeah.
So
I think Cam Ward's going to the Browns. I think
you think so?
Cam
You
Ward's
don't
nasty,
think that
man.
you don't think Tennessee's going to take him, though?
I don't think so. It'd be interesting. I just don't see it. I see Shador more than that, and I think that's more of a legacy pick than trying to fill the seats and anything else.
Yeah, the odds say Cam Ward slightly.
Cam
But
Ward's nasty. I see this.
yeah, the
Listen,
odds are.
I've been watching them throw the last couple of weeks. Some boys got Cam Ward got a spiral on that ball. That
Yeah,
boy,
he was good too. The Miami had a good offense. I mean, Shador said, "I ain't even gonna play. I'm not gonna go to the combine." He said, "I'll interview, but I ain't gonna throw. I don't need to do none of
I
this."
mean,
And
you
I agree with him. I felt like his numbers spoke for him. I actually feel like interesting because we always look at the college quarterbacks as like scramblers. I feel like Shador is a good pocket passer, and like we don't be drafting pocket passers like that no more. Everyone's got to be super athletic. So I kind of like the pocket pass. Like he could scramble if he needs to, but it's like Dak Prescott. Like,
yeah.
I know he hasn't performed well in the playoffs, but the dude is a good quarterback. Like he puts up good numbers. He's played well and he plays with poise. So, yeah, I feel like you're kind of gonna be screwed if you're stuck with Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, just because like you're that old. You had a year after Achilles injury, but the stats were still pretty good. I'm not gonna say Aaron Rodgers don't got nothing left in the tank. So It depends, Sam. If the Giants are going to draft a quarterback, if they get one of those quarterbacks, then I would sign Aaron Rodgers because now you have 1 year with one of the best to ever do it with a youngin. So I think that's the perfect formula for it to work out.
True. That's true.
Pick number 3. They got pick number 3. We'll see.
Yeah.
Number 3. We have some news in the NFC, and it's our NFC resident wants to come to the door, Mr. YBK.
What's going on with this?
going on?
This is some crazy proposal right here by the Green Bay Packers. Ban the tush push? What are they hating? Why are they gonna ban the tush push brotherly shove? Everybody
banning the brotherly shove.
What?
Is unruly.
They hate it so hard just because we're so good at it.
They hate us because they ain't us.
What is going on? They're not like us. What's going on?
That is too funny.
I saw that notification on my phone and I just laughed. Like, are you serious? I feel like it's like this is a creative part of the game type thing, and you're trying to what? Mikey, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, well, for the listeners, like to understand like exactly what was proposed, like in the NFL every year, you're allowed to like make a proposal. So it's basically a team. Teams are allowed to submit proposals, and then they're voted on as a committee. The owners need to have a 75% vote to make something go through. So 24 out of 32 owners need to vote in favor of it. At first, it was anonymous, and then the Green Bay Packers manager came out and said, no, I'm the GM of the Green Bay Packers was like, nah, it was us who proposed that the tush-push play, which is the quarterback sneak that involves like the two big guys pushing the quarterback forward as the linemen push forward in a quarterback sneak formation. So I feel like this is what I'll say. 2 teams do it really well, and 1 team does it obviously the best, and that's the Bills and the Eagles, because like the Eagles are known for doing it, right? Between them 2, they've done it 163 times in the past 3 seasons, which is more than the rest of the whole NFL combined, right? If you do something well, you should be allowed to do it, right?
Facts.
That's what I'll say.
100%.
My only counter will be if there is statistical evidence that shows that there is a higher rate of injury, it's the only reason why you would vote against something. It's why we've taken away doing onside kicks or, kickoffs in general, but why we've taken away those sort of kicks or changed the, punting over the years. What's allowed for hits and, you should have a fair catch. You shouldn't have to freaking catch the ball and get clocked, right? This is different, though. I feel like it's more tactical, right? Like it takes more skill to do it.
Yeah,
100%.
Definitely.
100%. I think one thing that you gotta say to the general public, guys, the Green Bay Packers tried to do the tush push. Go, please. If you want to laugh, like if you want to drink something and spit something out of your mouth, like I'm telling you, go watch them try to attempt the tush push. It is hilarious. They failed miserably. So I think that's the first thing. The second thing is, I think a lot of times people propose rules when they know that they could never stop this other rule. You know what I mean? I think there's a situation where, they were talking about the defensive pass interference and being able to hold guys for those first 10 yards. And they had to break it down to 5. Why? Because there were dudes who were on defense who could hold a wide receiver for 10 yards and the guy couldn't move. So this is something where I think if the game becomes kind of cheapened or dampened due to a play or a situation, then maybe you might, or safety, you might need to change the rules. This is just pure haterade. pure unadulterated haterade. Y'all hate us because y'all ain't us. Y'all mad because we do this. And if y'all were better and were in more 4th and 1 situations, maybe you'd be able to do it too. But because you're playing 4th and 2, 4th and 3, you can't do it. That's all I got to say. Like there's not much I can say about it. Y'all just sound salty. You know what I'm saying?
100% salty.
salty,
It's
man.
like they're like saying like, "Oh, I'm not a fan of this play." Like what you said, David. Like I gotta go watch some tush push from the Packers. You know what I'm saying? Like if they be scoring touchdowns and like getting first downs, they ain't be going saying this. They ain't gonna propose this. It's just because they just suck at it, and seeing other people being successful at it, they're just jealous and hating. That's basically
Yeah,
what it
I'm
is.
confused by like the statement that like the president of the Packers made, saying that like you shouldn't be able to like aid the runner, right? You can't push another player and aid the runner. Because in my mind, I'm like, how many times have y'all seen the lineman on like a nice handoff and like the lineman help push you if you keep your legs turning?
Yeah.
Or like it's
Mm-hmm.
this is different than like the famous the play the fumble Rooney or fumble
Right.
Rooski.
Yep.
It's different than like advancing a fumble forward, like purposely fumble the ball on the ground and like push it and kick it forward and then drop on it. And now I've moved forward 20 yards or like, right?
Yeah.
I feel like this is a fair, we changed the rules. Like there's rules that we've seen, I feel like that make no sense and some that make sense. And I just don't think this is a rule we need to change yet. I don't think there's no data. Like if everyone could do it well, maybe it would be, maybe I would say like, because another one of the quotes the president said was, it's no skill involved. Like it's bad for the game. Well, if there was no skill involved, I feel like everyone would do it.
Exactly.
Right.
Facts.
Exactly.
So, I mean, the success rate is very high when people do it, but so is like, what is the success rate of a regular QB sneak? It must be
Right.
pretty high
Pretty
too when
high.
you're looking
Yeah.
for 1 yard or less,
Yeah.
right?
And I
So,
think one thing that you said, you spoke about a little bit earlier is if people got hurt. And based on the data and what they've talked about, examining the plays from the last two seasons, the 2023 and 2024 season, there have been no injuries due to the tush push. So it's not an issue of, people are getting hurt or whatever, which was the so-called issue that the Green Bay Packers wanted to say, it's a safety and health violation and no. Y'all just sound salty. Sound salty. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Any
100%.
exes of Michael Jordan want to come out the woodwork now that he got a ring on his finger because y'all salty? I'm gonna come up and smack y'all because y'all haters. Don't even try to play it. Don't even try to bring it around. There ain't no Green Bay Packer in over here. The tush push is in full effect. And Michael Jordan got that ring on his finger going crazy. Let him know, baby. Let him know.
Yes, sir.
Shake my head, despicable.
if you don't like it, then stop it.
And you can't. It ain't gonna happen.
No, you ain't
anytime
gonna
soon.
stop us. Hell no.
Yeah, well,
Oh man.
it's been a beautiful night. I feel like we've kind of touched on a lot of nice things. I wanted to ask you guys before we wrap up for the night if you heard about the news. Our boy Turkey Al Sheikh, who has been coming through with all of those fire boxing cards out of Saudi, has dropped some fire news for a big boxing event. I feel like a huge one, and maybe Sam too will be important. You'll like this one as well. So they announced like Ryan Garcia, he's back.
Oh yeah.
After his suspension,
Oh.
Ryan Garcia's back. Devin Haney's back as well.
Okay, undefeated Haney.
They ain't fighting each other though. Not a rematch.
What?
So
Oh,
on May
separate?
2nd, there's going to be a boxing event that's going to be held in New York City in Times Square. Outdoor boxing event.
What?
It's a blockbuster event. We'll start with the opening so far that we've got is Teofimo Lopez. He's going to be defending his junior welterweight title against Arnold Barboza Jr., who's 32-0 right now.
Whoa.
Teofimo does got one loss, but you know what? He is the truth, and he's a young bull. He's got some great wins, and I think this is a great match to start the night. But I feel like this is interesting to me that Haney is coming back for his first time since he lost to Ryan Garcia in a kind of a pretty big upset, but then it was overturned because Ryan Garcia had tested positive for a banned substance. Devin Haney, though, is moving up from lightweight, which is what he was fighting at, 135 pounds, and he's going to fight at the welterweight weight limit, 147 pounds. And he's taking on Jose Ramirez, who's had some big fights already, too. So that's going to be the co-main. And then in the main event, Your boy Ryan Garcia is back after his ban. His 1-year suspension is over. He's fighting Rolly Romero in the main event. So that's a big. This is a huge fight. So Garcia obviously is blockbuster, and Rolly Romero. He's only lost to what? Pitbull Cruz, and Gervonta Tank Davis. So like two of the best.
Wow.
So this is huge, guys. I don't know if you caught wind of this one or what, or how you're thinking. Like, I mean, what's y'all initial thoughts on this one?
My thought when you said like outdoor Times Square, so they're gonna build a whole boxing ring outside, and like the audience is basically like, I don't know how they're gonna do this. Wow, that's gonna be crazy. This is like what you said, blockbuster. I've never heard of this or just kind of seen it in like my head. Like that's kind of hard to kind of envision. Kind of exciting though. But I feel like Ryan Garcia though, ever since that suspension, he might go all out. You know what I'm saying? He might come for like a little, little blood. He might go out for some blood. I feel like he's gonna go crazy. David, how do you feel about this?
I mean, there's two things that I'm really excited about, or three things. One, I think Times Square being outside. You know, we think of fights like the Thriller in Manila. You know what I mean? In Africa, outside. I think that was an amazing fight. I think being able to bring something like that, you know what I mean, to the United States, where we're outside in New York, Times Square. It's not only going to be a main event in terms of the arena, but it's going to be a main, kind of just a main event in the city. I'm really, really excited about that. I am a little nervous about Haney, though. Going up, 12 pounds is, you know what I mean? That seems like a lot to me. I'm just, you know what I mean? I know a couple people that are, cutting weight, doing their thing. Shout out to my girl, Gwendy. You know what I mean? She's been lifting, doing her thing. She, you know what I mean? She's trying to do her little bodybuilding joint, trying to make it popping. But, I mean, I know the cut be difficult. So the bulk for him must be even harder, because like to bulk up 12 pounds and still keep your speed and not feeling lethargic, bro. I'm a little nervous about that. Haney might take a L. I don't know.
You know how they be fighting those weight limits though. I feel like that people like drain themselves, cut themselves so much just to like have an advantage. So we'll see, because he's not like a small dude. I feel like if you see him, he ain't that small. So, like, I don't know. I feel like that's pretty.
12 pounds is a lot, though.
That's
12
cool.
pounds.
No, I know your punching power. The thing is, you're not gonna have the punching power advantage, so to say, immediately. So, I think it's interesting that even though Ryan Garcia was the one who tested positive, and obviously there was some like controversy over that positive test, because like first there was the report he tested positive for Ostarine, that's a steroid you can't take. It's just that's like a straight up steroid. Like it ain't like you accidentally slip this thing in, or like a Adderall, Ritalin type thing. But then they were saying there was a sample that wasn't over the limit, and then it was like no, like they just ruled it's a 1-year suspension, like. We're going to overturn the fight to a no contest, so you don't have a win over Devin Haney, and Devin Haney's back to undefeated. Okay, so Haney's the one that's like took the L, then had to get hit with those nasty left hooks and dropped in front of all of us. If you look up the picture of Haney versus Garcia, you're going to see him like getting rocked, bro, blood and stuff. Garcia gets the main event. Like, I guess it's because money's up.
He's a better fighter. I think Garcia's a better fighter, and I think he's going to make more money
too. I feel like exactly. Yeah. More money involved too. Yeah. Ryan Garcia.
You know, Rolly likes talking trash too. Rolly Romero is a trash talker. Ooh. Yeah, he like talking big Sam. He's a power puncher too. He fought pretty well against Gervonta Tank Davis until he got knocked out. Davis. Like, I mean, so it's interesting. Cool. I just think it's funny that like the good guy did not get the main event in this one. So best luck to all of these guys. I wanted to say I think that the title of the event is hilarious and very, very like apropos. It's called Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves.
Oh, I like it.
Dude, this dude Turkey Al Sheikh be going crazy. He puts on great boxing matches. I don't know if y'all actually caught. There was a pretty good card. Boxing card the other night in Saudi that they just put on, and he's been putting them on like over and over and over.
You've been saying Turkey. You've been saying Al Shea been popping off. So
there was a rematch with Dimitri Bivol and Artur Beterbiev, where both was undefeated. They fought like what 6 months back, whatever, and Beterbiev edged it out tiny. He'd won every one of his fights by knockout before. He won by decision the previous fight, a closely contested fight.
Damn.
This time, a closely contested fight, Dmitry Bivol won. So now both of them are no longer undefeated because they've each beat each other once. We're going to have to see the trilogy.
Time forward, baby.
Yeah, it was a good card too. Joseph Parker, big boy, like a big Islander. He came through with a big knockout against the boogeyman of the heavyweight division. But the dude who stepped in to fight him, Bacoli, was on a 2-day notice, bro. That boy flew across the world to fight on 2 days' notice because one of the heavyweight fighters had to pull out. So I love Turkey Al Sheikh. He be making the fight cards happen, and I feel like it's not just because you got the big money; it's because you care about putting on like a good card. So
Sounds like the new age Don King going crazy.
yeah, facts. They be working together. So
Damn.
sheesh, so
Sheesh, guys, can you believe it? Episode 20, like
20 crazy, bro.
2-0 in this mug. Like, guys, I feel like it was literally yesterday when we started this thing, and we were on episode 1. I feel like time is flying so fast.
It's crazy. You can legit have a scroll on Spotify and whatever platform you're listening to now in our episodes. It's crazy.
Listen,
When you think about it.
Well, I appreciate y'all as always. It's like, I mean, I feel like we could do it all night, but you know, we might have to come back with y'all for a little bit deep dive because tonight I feel like we was all around the world.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, playoffs is coming soon, so I'm smelling an NBA deep dive pretty soon, y'all.
True. NBA deep dive, and also we got like MLB coming soon too in April.
Very soon.
We're gonna get some
weeks.
night exclusive episodes on them sports too. Them two especially.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. RCR Presents MSD Sports episode 20. My name is Sam YPK. You can find me at YPK up in here. We got Michael John and Michael John DeStefano. We got Camden here at Mr. Club Paradise. And you can check us out at RCR MSD Sports on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple Podcast, Spotify, you name it, everybody. And we'll see you guys in the next podcast. Peace.